Yo, FlockaTrent checking in, you dig what I'm saying? You see me on the road, you understand me? You got the motherfucking way. If I do the pre-trip for the CDL test, inspection, or whatever they call it. If I don't say the shit right all the time, just know I know what I'm talking about, you know. So you gotta start at the top of the front of the car. So at the top of the car, you got the amber colored lights. It's your clearance lights though. Amber in color, they not cracked when I'm broken. You gotta say that shit. You got your clearance. You gotta touch it. You like they're not cracked when I'm broken. No stickers, you know what I'm saying? No illegal things on it. You gotta step back and you gotta look at the whole truck in front of it. Be like it's not leaning. You know what I'm saying? Get low, make sure it don't got no leaks and none of that shit. Not, you know what I'm saying? It's ready to rock and roll. Boom. After that, you got one top on the side, one top on the So they say that we always supposed to start on the right side of the truck, so that's what we go do. You feel me? We'll start, we got the alternator. There's 5 things you gotta name on the right side, first and foremost, so just always remember that shit. Even if you don't know the name, you can touch it during the test. Just, you know, be like, bomb, not cracked, bent, or broken, but I know it. So the alternator, not cracked, bent, or broken, ready to rock and roll. Boom. That's one thing. I got the alternator belt, not cracked, bent, or broken, ready to rock and roll. There's 2 things. And it has, what it is, like 3/4 of play if you push it. That's 2 things. Boom. The 3rd thing on this side is the alternator wires, not cracked, bent, or broken. You know what I'm saying? They ready to rock and roll. Remember I said we got 4 things. Bomb. Now you got the hoses. You don't got to name what hoses go to what on the right side. Just know, just say hoses, touch them. Not cracked, bent, or broken, it's ready to rock and roll, guys. That's 4 things. And the 5th thing on this side is the turbo. You know what I'm saying? Not cracked, bent, or broken, no leaks, ready to rock and roll. Boom. That's the 5 things on this side. Then you're gonna point to the exhaust. 9 times out of 10, the exhaust gonna be somewhere in this area. Just point and be like the exhaust, and you follow that bitch. Excuse my language. Boom. When you follow that bitch, you heard me, gonna follow it to the back. This exhaust pointing down, but some exhausts will be pointing up. You're gonna say not cracked, bent, or broken. You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna get a little closer. And you're gonna be like, this is the exhaust mount. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, no illegal welds. Bomb. That's for the right side. So the right side really got 6 things, dude. The front got what? The front got 4 things. The right side got 6 things. This is where all the dumb shit at. All the shit that you gotta know, a lot of that shit. Alright, good. So you gotta know damn near all this. But it ain't even that bad though. But they just make it seem like that. So boom, you start with your coolant reservoir. You gotta touch that bitch. Even if you just be like, this is the reservoir, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, no leaks. The coolant level is at the right amount. Boom. You're done with that. Me personally, they say go in like a certain order. Sometimes I be forgetting. I got bad memory, so I'll be going in certain. I just be bouncing. All right, boom. So this is the coolant reservoir. It's not cracked, bent, or broken. It's ready to rock and roll. So then I drop down to a V. Bomb. And this the no kind of thing. This is the reservoir. This the this the power steering reservoir. If I'm not mistaken, right? Alright, bet. Yeah. I told you I know what I'm talking about. This is a power steering reservoir, you dig what I'm saying? You gotta say not cracked, bent, or broken. The level or oil in it is at the proper level. You know what I'm saying? It's ready to rock and roll. Boom. Then make a V go up. It's your all dipstick. So if you pull it, you know what I'm saying? it should not be worn or broken or cracked or anything. When you pull it, it should have the proper oil level. The color of the oil should be a certain color, the right color, and it shouldn't have no metal shavings. You know what I'm saying? When you pull that motherfucker. Boom. Alright, after that, you feel me? Like I say, I'm gonna just do how I do it. After the V, I'm gonna go this way. Boom, this is the air hose. You gotta touch them and say, you know, not cracked, bent or broken. It has no leaks. You know what I'm saying? Now this is where like it get kind of tricky. Oh yeah, hold up. The water pump. The water pump is in this area. The water pump somewhere right here. It's on the other side.
This is the standard?
It's the standard.
So it's in the back. Oh, it is on the other side. One of them. This is not an automatic.
Oh, it is.
1, 2, and the other one's on.
Alright, but this is a standard, so I mean it's an automatic. I mean it's a standard. So the standard, the water pump is on the other side. But if it was an automatic and y'all, if you're seeing this now, you probably gonna get checked on the automatic. The water pump gonna be in this area. If it's an automatic, it's gonna be in this area on the left side. But it's not. It's on that side. So just act like it's right there somewhere. So you'll say the water pump is not cracked, bent, or broken, and it's important to say is it gear driven or is it belt driven? Some of them be belt driven, some of them be gear driven. So boom. All right, no water pump on this side, but it's supposed to be. After that, you got to let them know on the automatic it's gonna be the air compressor and the this is the air compressor. What it is?
Air compressor be to the back.
I know what I'm saying. I don't know what you call them though.
Air compressor is always to the back. You're not gonna see it.
But you're right. So on the automatic, the air compressor be down here. The air compressor and the what the other one is? The power steering compressor or the
Power steering pump.
Yeah, the power steering pump. So just remember, in this little crack right here, the power steering pump and the air compressor. So you're not gonna be able to really see it for the test like you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But just know in this area right here, you gotta point to this area. Once you point to this area and say, hey, my air compressor and my power steering pump is down here, it's gear driven, it's not cracked, bent, or broken, you good. You feel me? Boom. Then you have your hoses. Okay, you gotta let them know the power steering hoses, which is these. These kind of the only hoses, well, one of the only sets of hoses that you really gotta like touch and name. Like power steering hoses, they not cracked, bent, or broken. They have no leaks. They ready to rock and roll. Boom. Power steering hoses connected. All right, boom. This is what I want. All right, but this is what I'm saying. The air compressor on this one, in the what you call them right here. Cause see the hose are coming. The hose coming from the gearbox, and the power steering pump to the gearbox. The power steering, the power steering reservoir connected to the gearbox, connected to the power steering pump. That's what I'm saying. So this is the power steering pump.
This is the hose that connects to the power steering gearbox.
That's the gearbox, and then this hose connects to the power steering pump. See? On the other truck, it's gonna follow that way. So y'all just remember, automatic trucks and manual trucks, the components are the same, but they're in different spots. See how we was telling y'all that it's gonna be back here on the automatic. Yeah. Our teammate over there, he got some technical difficulties going on over there. But yeah, we back to our shit. All right, boom. So then you also got to name out the gearbox. You just got to say not cracked, bent, or broken, no illegal wells, or not leaking. Boom. Then you go down to this right here. This is called a pitman arm, the drag link, the castle nut, and the cotter pin. So, oh yeah, and behind it is a rubber bushel. I don't want to take that grease ass shit. You know what I'm saying? And right here is the knuckles. So like I said, these things, even if you forget the name of it, like I be forgetting, you gotta just touch them bitches. Like, so bomb. Not cracked, been or broken. Not cracked, been or broken. No illegal wells. Not cracked, been or broken. Like you can say that shit and still pass your shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna name it for y'all. See, I just put pitman on, drag link, castle nut, cotter pin, the rubber bushel behind it, and the knuckle. Gotta name all that shit right there. Boom. See, even the spring mounts on this whole little different. All right, they got the spring mounts. You see them? They like right to them. All right. Like I said, this is a standard, so the shit look different. But on the automatic, you can see it better. So now we're on the suspension. You know what I'm saying? And if I round it over, well, y'all can get the picture. So you got to name the spring mount. So remember, you got to name on each axle, which is the wheel area. You got to name 2 spring mounts every time. You can't just be like the front spring mount. If you don't say the back one, that ain't gonna bake you. You ain't gonna get it. So you gotta be like front spring mount. Even if you can't see that, but just point to it. I got my 2 spring mounts, front and the back. Just throw your hand that way. Boom. You got the point. Then boom, you're gonna drop down right here. This right here, that's the leaf. You gotta say the leaf is not cracked, bent, or broken. You know what I'm saying? No illegal well. Then you gotta name the U-bolt. It's in a U shape, not cracked, bent, or broken. No illegal well. Then you gotta name the. See this right here? This is the suspension. I'll be forgetting the name, but if you forget the name, you could just be like blase, not cracked, bent, or broken. But the name of this is the shock absorber. It's a shock absorber. I'll be thinking it's a spring. So even you just be like, oh, this is not cracked, bent, or broken. You feel me? All right, but that's a shock absorber. You have to name that too. Boom. So after you name the suspension, that's all the suspension parts right here. Then you go to the brake area. Okay, this is the brake hose. The brake hose follows to the brake chamber. The brake chamber follows to the brake lining, which contains the brake pad. You don't gotta point to just point in that area. Just be like, the brake pad is not cracked, bent, or broken. You know what I'm saying? Not worn. And when you speak about the brake pad itself, you gotta say it's no water, dirt, or anything in it that's stopping it from functioning, basically. Boom. Then you have to name this part right here. So they call this the slack adjuster and the push rod. So just in this area, I don't know which one is which, but I know it's just all in this area. Slack adjuster and the push rod is in this right here. This little function. And you gotta say how much slack the slack adjuster is supposed to have, which I kind of forgot. I think it's what it is. The slack adjuster could only have 1 inch of plate. If you had the vehicle on, you had to check it like that. And then that's it for the inside of that. Boom. And the next thing you gotta talk about is the tires. So you gotta say that my inner and outer tire is not worn, no cracks, no breaks. The top of my tire has the proper tread depth on the front end of 4/30 seconds. The front end on the tires is 4/30 seconds. The back tires gotta be 2/30 seconds. Good. And then you gotta say the same thing with the rim. The inner and outer rim is not cracked, bent, or broken, and it don't have no illegal welds. You gotta say no illegal welds for the rim. And then you gotta say my lug nuts are not cracked, bent, or broken, no illegal welds, or rusted. Obviously they fucking rusted, but you just gotta say that anyway. And then this right here is called, I'll be forgetting this too, but if you forget it, you could just point to it and be like, it's supposed to have all. And if it had a sight glass, you can see how much all in it is not cracked, bent, or broken. But the name of it is called a hub seal cap. Hub seal all cap. But you could just be like, my cap is not cracked, bent, or broken. It has the right amount of oil. I can see it if it had a clear cap. And you have to name the air stem. My air stem is not cracked, bent, or broken. no illegal wells, it's not leaking air. Bomb. That's it for that part. How long that video is so far?
15 minutes.
Alright, cool, boom. So that's it for all that part. This is the hardest part. But remember, every axle you gotta name all of. Yeah, like every axle you gotta name it 3 times. You gotta name everything about the tires, everything about the pivot on, not the pivot on, the slack adjuster and the brakes, you gotta name that 3 times. So just remember that shit. Alright, then you gotta name your hazard lights. So it's your hazard lights, your 4-way lights, and your signal light. You gotta say it's not cracked, been broken, it's ready to rock and roll. Boom. Now do the same thing you did for the mirror on the first one. Not cracked, been broken, ready to rock and roll. Boom. What you put on your steps, you gotta say they not cracked, been broken, they can hold my weight. Boom, you gotta open the door. Open the door and say the nuts and the brackets inside, they not cracked, been broken. The brakes, they ready to rock and roll. You gotta talk about this and you gotta point to this and be like, this is not worn or torn. It's ready to rock and roll. My door can be closed. Then you gotta open the emergency, the security door, or whatever. And then you gotta tell them, hey, this right here, it has my yellow reflectors. I have at least 6 fuses, and I have a fire extinguisher that's fully charged. You gotta say that shit, because that's the stuff you're supposed to have on the road. Whether you're driving like 18 others or do it, you gotta have that shit. Wow. And then you gotta tell them about your fuel tank. You gotta be like, my fuel tank is not cracked, been or broken, ready to rock and roll. My fuel mounts, which is these, they ready to rock and roll. And then you gotta just tell them if I unscrewed it, it will have a chain link holding the cap, and they have a rubber gasket inside it that's not broken. That's ready to rock and roll. Boom. Now we don't have a trailer on this one, you feel me? But you still gotta name the parts. So alright, boom. This your catwalk. This your catwalk right here. Your cat steps and your catwalk. You gotta say it's not cracked, none or broken. No illegal wells, ready to rock and roll. Mom, if you had a trailer, this would be all hooked up. But this right here is called your glad hands. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be like, the blue is the service, the red is the emergency, and the green is the electric line. So you would have to say that all of them is not cracked, been or broken. You know what I'm saying? You'll have to say all of them is not cracked, been or broken, they ready to rock and roll. Then you'll come right here. And this is your drive shaft. You gotta speak on that. And then you gotta speak on your drive shaft U-bolt, U-connector. You gotta say it's not cracked, been or broken, it's not leaking oil. And then you gotta speak on the frame. The frame, not cracked, been or broken. Then you gotta speak on the cross member, not cracked, been or broken. You only gotta speak on this right here 1 time. And boom. Now remember I told y'all once we get back to the tires, you gotta do the tire 3 times. So you gotta do, I'm not gonna do it again, but y'all gotta do, the spring leaf, the brake mount. The only thing different with the tire that you did from the front. Oh yeah, and you gotta call out your torque bar. It's a torque bar right here. You heard me, gotta call out that 1 time. Boom. The only thing you gotta do different with the tires is you gotta mention the airbags. You know what I'm saying? The airbags are right here. This is a brand new airbag right here. Mm-hmm. And then that's the bigger airbags over there.
That's brake thing.
With a brake drum. Yeah, this is a brake drum. This is a brand new brake drum. I'm tripping. That's the airbag. So the only thing new that you gotta do with the suspension on the back is talk about the airbags. But you gotta do everything else. You gotta call out all them other things. And then don't forget, you gotta let them know about your flaps. You also gotta let them know about your mud flaps. You gotta let them know about the mud flaps twice, I think, huh? Like these ones are the ones on the truck.
3 times.
Alright, yep.
Back and then on the truck.
So you gotta let them know, like, my mud flaps are proper length. They not cracked, been or broken. Obviously this one cracked, but to pass your test, you gotta say it's not cracked, been or broken. Boom. And that's what I was talking about. Like, this is a spring mount, y'all. This right here. On the automatic truck, you can see it better. But the standards, they made it a little different. This is an airbag. With the airbag, you gotta say my airbag mount, my airbag, and my airbag bell. You gotta say them 3 things. You gotta say they not cracked, been or broken, they not leaking no air. Wow. Then you gotta go to the fit wheel plate. So This the fit wheel plate. This the fit wheel plate slider. This the fit wheel plate mount. This the fit wheel plate locking on. Yeah.
This,
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta call out all them.
this the mount. This the platform.
This the fit wheel mount. This the fit wheel platform. This the fit wheel plate. Oh, this the fit wheel slider plate. And this the fit wheel plate itself. And this the fit wheel locking on. So long as you pointing and you saying something dealing with the fit wheel, you're gonna get the points for it, you feel me? But you gotta know about it. And you also gotta call out the fit wheel hoses, which is only one of them, I think, if I'm not mistaken. You feel me? So you gotta call that out. Boom. So when you're doing this, it's gonna have a trailer on it, so you're not gonna be able to point just easy. You're gonna have to get low. And then you gotta come. You gotta speak on another set of tires. You gotta speak on these mud flaps. And just say that they're not broke or bent. You know what I'm saying? Not dragging. You gotta speak on a reflective tape. So on the trailer, it's gonna have reflective tape 360 around the trailer. It's supposed to have that same how it's here. Again, it's the airbags. You know what I'm saying? You gotta speak on that on every axle that you do. It's the shock absorber. Yeah, the shock absorber. Same thing at the front end. You gotta speak on that too. It's a torque arm right here. And it's easy to see because the trailer not connected to it. And then when you're speaking on a fit wheel, you gotta speak on the locking mechanism. So see right here, this is the locking jaw. And then on the trailer, it got the kingpin that's gonna go inside it. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta say that shit. Even though if you don't see it, you just gotta just say it. And then you gotta speak on the signal lights. And shit, that's about it. And then you would say, you would inspect the right side the same way as you inspected the left side. You feel me? On FlockaTrent, that's a pre-check. You dig what I'm saying? Hope y'all get your CDL, do y'all shit, and get to a big bag. I tell you.